Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy and we're going to get straight into our explosive penny stock watch list. So the first stock we're actually going to look at today is now officially patent approved. And so that is exactly what we're looking at right here. For IGEN, we are officially approved for creating driver telematic signatures. You can see our status right here is allowed, and so that was extremely bullish news that we saw today. After such great news in IGEN, we corresponded with a day up 11%. We seen highs of around 0.012 today, which was extremely crazy. We were up over 25% for a brief moment, but we are starting to get our momentum back here in IGEN. The good news just keeps on coming, and you can see our MACD did crossover with their signal line. The one beef I have with IGEN is the weak marketing team. This stock only has a very limited amount of eyes on it, which means the awareness on the stock is not that high. And so to run a very solid business, there's obviously a lot of different components that need to be tackled to make sure your product goes out. For example, I could make the best YouTube video ever, but if I don't do the proper marketing, we'll get no views on the video. Same thing with IGEN. You could have the best product in the world, the best setup, but if you're not getting that news out there, how are people going to get to know? And so if I'm looking at IGEN right now with this patent approval, I'm looking at a company that is pretty much on the floor level right now. We don't have this news in the mainstream. It is very difficult to find information on IGEN, so those people who do their due diligence properly are able to find these gems, and I do believe IGEN is one of these gems. I believe that they are withholding a lot of their information until after their lawsuit is settled. I feel like after that point, there will be no more gray cloud above the company, and at that point, they can just lead a barrage of PRs that will only benefit the shareholders at the end of the day. And so with this patent approval, with a lot of the company fundamentals that have been moving in the right direction, a MACD crossover, a lot of accumulation, I believe this is the beginning of IGEN's turnaround right now. The next move for us is to get above this uptrend line right here. If IGEN gets above this point, we are back above our uptrend. And so overall, we had very nice volume today, very nice consecutive volume just increasing. And so we've had two pretty solid days where we've had very volatile price action. And so at these levels, I do see myself and a lot of other people accumulating shares, waiting for this company to start to take off. We are again at ground level. You can just see this accumulation just been steadily going up. So we see the clear divergence from accumulation to our share price and our MACD. And so now that we got this crossover, I am looking forward to see how IGEN trades. I would not be surprised to see IGEN here at around 0.012 by June 3rd. I think we could potentially trade out in this little wedge here and then at this point break back out to the upside. But with the type of volatility that we've seen in IGEN, this could just continue to have these very large run-ups, and I think people are starting to notice this stock. And so now that we are patent approved, I think we are going to start to get more eyes on it. And so you guys know I did stop buying this on Friday. I did build out most of the position that I wanted to, and now that we are above my average cost, I am going to just sit and watch and see how this story unfolds, because I think this is going to be a very beautiful opportunity in the long term. Next stock of the day, we're looking at Humble on the daily time frame, down 15%, and we are almost on a level of support. So we're very close to our 200-day SMA, and we need a miracle right now in Humble because we just continue to bleed down. Our 10-day SMA signaled by this line right here is crossing over all of our other SMAs, and so that is not a good sign. And so as long as we are above this support line right here, we are going to be slightly bullish. If we break down from this level of support and we break down from this 200-day SMA, we are going to be completely bearish on Humble in the short term. Obviously, you guys all know my long-term thesis here on Humble, and so these short-term drops are actually very intriguing to be buying the dip. But if we go lower, I will be buying at these levels. I personally don't want to buy just because I would have to be averaging up on my position, and I really don't like averaging up at all. That's probably one of the biggest things I don't like to do, is averaging up a position. And so if I get closer to my average cost, I will definitely be adding to my position, but right now I want to see where this dust settles. Next stock of the day, we're looking at WDLF on the daily time frame. So that is back-to-back days that we actually got rejected by our 50 SMA. Actually 3 days. You can see we did have some price action here on April 22nd, get rejected by this 50. And so right now you can see our 10-day is starting to curl up, and as long as WDLF is along this uptrend right here, we are very bullish. And so right now these are just bumps on the road getting rejected by our 50, but if we can hold this level of support and this uptrend, we are still in a very solid position here in WDLF. Next stock of the day, looking at SEGI on the daily time frame. So SEGI has been just slowly and steadily clawing its way back. Right now we are sitting on our 100-day SMA, and we have our 10-day scooping right back up, and we could get a crossover here of our 100-day SMA. And so as long as the price action on SEGI stays above this 10-day, we could start to just see the price action start sailing up. You can see we did get our MACD crossover right here, and so everything does look very nice right now on SEGI. Next stock of the day, we're looking at MJNA on the daily time frame. So we were up about 1% today, and we are still trading within this little pattern right here. Again, I expect MJNA to trade in this pattern until we start to get the price action above this point. We are not going to be in MJNA, but because we are now right above our 10-day SMA, this is very nice price action because we are now above our 100, we're also above our 10, and so if we break past this long-term level of resistance, get a back test, I do believe MJNA is going to explode. I think by the end of 2022, this stock will be well above 25 cents. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ALYI on the daily time frame, up 25%, super solid day. And I was mentioning with this one, we want to see the price action get above this point, and so that is exactly what we saw. We are getting a crossover very shortly here on our MACD, and after such a strong day, we do expect to see a cool off, and that's where we want to see that back test as a confirmation here in ALYI. Next stock of the day, we're looking at RDGL, and RDGL is getting very close to Judgment Day. So right now we have maybe a couple more days here to figure out where we want to go in RDGL. On May 6th, this pattern will conclude and we will start to get a better sense of direction. As of right now, we were down today, still trading very nicely in our pennant. You could see that we tested the top here of our 50 SMA, and we also held support very nicely. And so if we continue to trade in this and break to the upside, I will be long on RDGL. I just believe this stock has way too much upside for it to be trading only at 9 cents. Once this gets an FDA approval for the human side, this thing is going to go crazy, and I can't wait for that to happen. And so that is exactly what we're waiting for right now. But on a technical level, patience is the name of the game, and we want to see a breakout to the upside with some nice volume. We did get that MACD crossover, so that does look really good, but the angle is not as steep as we want. You can see the accumulation has also been very nice here on RDGL. Next stock of the day, we're looking at HYSR on the daily time frame. So we're only up 4% today. You guys already know how I feel about this stock for the long term. I just believe there's a lot more room to the downside than to the upside right now because of the fact that this company does not have a working product. On a technical level, you can see though we held our 200 very nicely, which also coincides with our uptrend. And so if we get back down to here and we test as support again and get a double bottom, that would be very nice, and that would be a nice swing play opportunity, not a long position. And so that is kind of how I'm playing HYSR. I think these are tradable moments, but not anything serious. You could see we did get a crossover of our MACD, but it is still very parallel with our signal line, so this isn't as distinguished as we would like. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ACDC on the daily time frame, down about 3%, and so right now we are sitting very nicely on our 10-day SMA, but because we are above our uptrend line, we are still very bullish here on ACDC. We had a slight crossover here of our MACD, which was very nice, but overall we've had steady accumulation and we are above our uptrend, and so as long as we are here on ACDC, we still are looking very bullish. Next stock of the day, we're looking at High Tide on the daily time frame. So High Tide has finally closed above its 10-day SMA since about March 31st. So you can see all of April we were trading below our 10-day SMA. today we finally got that close. And so if we see high tide kind of curl up a little bit, that could be a very nice signal for a crossover here, and we could potentially start to make moves. Personal opinion, I think high tide will trade sideways within this little channel, and we will back test our uptrend line somewhere near the end of May. Until then, I think we are just going to wait and watch and see how high tide performs for the next month. Next stock of the day, we're looking at STAF on the daily time frame. So STAF had a very solid day today, also up 8% and closing right above our 10-day SMA. And so it does look like we did find a bottom here on our level of support, and this was a very nice buying opportunity. You can see our accumulation did go up today. We are starting to cross over here on our MACD, not just yet, but we do see that curl up. And so right now, this is a strong close here on STAF, and I do expect them to build some momentum here for the next couple trading sessions. And so zoomed in onto our 30-minute time frame, so you guys can see clearly this has been a level of resistance that STAF has been having trouble breaking out of. And so right now we are looking for a back test of this level of resistance. So obviously that is a very nice swing play up until this point. If we get a breakout past this point, then this was a very nice opportunity for a long position. But there are definitely multiple ways to go about this STAF if you are about trading. And so right now that is kind of how I'm looking at it. If we hold this level of resistance and get rejected, we should start to see more downside pressure. However, if we can get a break past this level of resistance, we should start to see a nice move up. And so that is kind of what I'm waiting for here in the short term. I would love to see a break past this level of resistance and then a back test, and then we could get a very nice movement to the upside. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SNDL on the daily time frame. So I just wanted to clear it all up for you guys just to show you how clear of an uptrend we were on here in SNDL and how clear of a rejection this was here on SNDL. Overall, we are starting to get our MACD to curl up, but this is not a strong angle. You can see overall we haven't had any accumulation. Although the price action went up today, we did not get that accumulation. So overall, this is not a solid setup in my opinion in SNDL. This is a strong momentum play because it has so much volume, but when it's bleeding, it is going to bleed a lot longer than the rest of the stocks. There you guys have it. That was our quick little update on our explosive penny stock watch list. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.